Good day to you, be it good morning, good evening, good night, good whatever. My name is Damien, the tall, friendly Atheist Dad, and host of the Tall, Friendly Atheist Dad podcast, as you can see up on the screen there, and on the crawler down the bottom. So, anyway, welcome to part 6 of An Atheist Reads Bible Defense of Slavery by Reverend Josiah Priest. Hit it.
So far from lies and hypocrisy, returns to energy, and silence becomes brave. Don't ask me the reason why. Just say, I only dream in black and white, future's nothingness, but I can choose another end, opening my eyes, and you beginning in my life, without emptiness to feel. I am sure of myself, no mercy until the end.
Can you make it a minute?
Yes. Hello, good afternoon, or good day, or whatever time of day it is, wherever you are as you're watching or listening to this. My name is Damien, the tall, friendly Atheist Dad, and up on the screen is Melbourne is beautiful in springtime. So I am from the lovely city Melbourne, and yes, Melbourne in springtime is beautiful. It is the only problem is that we get this beautiful weather for about 4 or 5 weeks, and then the rest is either boilingly hot or downright, balls to the wall freezing. So anyway, look, enjoy the video. And yeah, so this is part 6 of as it's called, Bible Defense of Slavery. It's a book written in the 1850s by a reverend named Josiah Priest, who was attempting to defend the position that the Bible supports slavery, which is a common thing in modern politics. It's one of those things that gets discussed numerous times in modern debates, and so we'll go through this book and just see what arguments are made. So this guy is the pro-slavery position, and yeah. Anyway, so where was I? So I'm currently on page 62. If you have the book, feel free to follow along with me. Otherwise, watch and or listen. It doesn't matter as long as you enjoy. So anyway, 3, 2, 1. Concerning this Jethro, or Ruel, as Josephus calls him, the Midianite, to whose family Moses became allied in marriage. Abul Farajus, an Arabian writer quoted by Adam Clarke, in his commentary on the character of this very man, in the book of Exodus, says that the girl Sapphuri, or as it is written in the scripture Zipporah, was the black daughter of Ruel, or Jethro, which is all one, as he had several names. If she was a black woman, then were her sisters also black, as well as her father and mother, who were real Negroes, the descendants of Ham? Or Abul Farajus would not have said that she was a black woman. But if this is not satisfactory, we are able to prove she was a black woman by a higher authority, and will, if we do so, powerfully corroborate the statement and veracity of Faraj Juz, the Arabian historian, whom Clarke has honoured by a reference to his work. On this subject, see the Book of Numbers, chapter 12, 1, where the circumstance of Moses having married the daughter of Jethro is spoken of as follows. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. Now, as the word Ethiopian or Ethiop is a Hebrew word signifying that which is black, as well as the word Ham, we learn at once that Miriam and Aaron, the brother and sister of Moses, found fault with him for marrying a black woman, one of the cursed race. Or as Dr. Clarke has written it on this very subject in the Hebrew, Ha'isha Ha'chesith, or that woman, the Cushite, who, it appears, was recognized by Aaron and Miriam as a descendant of the family of Cush, one of the sons of Ham, the first Negro of the human race. Moses was well acquainted with the country to which the family of Cush removed after the confusion of the tower, and speaks of it in Genesis 2:13. And the name of the third river is Gihon. The same is it that encompasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. Now, why did Moses call that country Ethiopia, through which the river Gihon flowed? It was because a black race of inhabitants first of all peopled it. For the word Ethiopia in the Hebrew of Moses, as well as the words Ham, Cush, etc., signify black, the country having no name prior to its settlement by the family of Cush, the son of Ham, and of consequence, the name which distinguished the first settlers would become the name of their country. Alright, let's hit some music. And by the way, the music comes from the band Victim of Illusion, from their album Invisible Light. Head on over to victimofillusion.bandcamp.com, pick up their album Invisible Light for a very reasonable price, and support independent music. Here we go. So, I don't know exactly what the etymology of the country Ethiopia is, and it could well be that Ethiopia signify black. That I have no problem with. One of the first problems I have is that, firstly, the idea of mosaic authorship of Genesis, or the first 5 books of the Bible, the Pentateuch. That's more of an historical paradigm rather than a scholarly one. There are numerous scholars who suggest that Moses, the person, didn't even exist. So if he can't exist, he can't have written books. Then the idea that God dictated to Moses, all these books, and then Moses wrote it out and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, there are numerous scholarly reasons why Moses didn't write the Pentateuch. So that's all cool there. But anyway, I should better get back to this message. Sorry, just my daughter messaged me, so just better quickly check. That's right, cool. Yeah, so So there is that, and look, even if I grant that Moses wrote, the Pentateuch, probably the most worrying part is that this guy is confirming that black people are cursed. And the reason black people are cursed is because Ham, did something wrong with his dad. Now, there is a bit of conjecture about what Ham actually did, but he was cursed by God to be a slave. And according to some previous pages in this book, Ham was the first Negro because God struck him when he was in the womb or whatever to be black. Well, sorry, I think either him or his sons. But yeah, I forget exactly the narrative, but yeah, basically, black people are cursed because their ancestors were cursed, and obviously that curse carries down. Because we see, where was it? Ah, yeah, so page 63. Now, as the word Ethiopian is a Hebrew word signifying that which is black, Miriam and Aaron, the brothers of Moses, found fault with him for marrying a black woman, one of the cursed race. Which also goes to show that the author of the Bible is hella racist. It's and these people didn't seem to have a problem with the racism in the Bible. It's like, hey, why are you marrying a black woman? It's like, so maybe Moses was progressive, and his family are bitches. So yeah, that's kind of it's disappointing. It's disappointing. So anyway, let me then where was it? So I'm on page 64. So I'm going to pause the music, go back to the lovely driving. So 3, 2, 1. Notwithstanding, Moses has called the country Ethiopia, yet it was also called in the earliest times Cushan, and the people Cushians, after Cush, its first king and settler, both of which words signify that which is black. Ethiopia, as a country, is a world of green foliage and flowers, furnishing no grounds for the word Ethiopia to become its name, on which account it remains that its first inhabitants must have occasioned its name by their own peculiar nationality of colour. Actually, while that's playing, I'm just going to quickly... I think I've done this before, but... I want to see how... okay, here we go. So I'm looking for Etim online, and apparently Ethiopia, the Latin word Ethiopia, comes from the Greek word Aethiopia. Yes. So it's late 14th century from Latin Aethiops, Ethiopian or Negro from the Greek Aethiops, long supposed in popular etymology to be from Aethien, to burn, plus ops, face. Compare Aethops, fiery looking, later sunburnt. And give me 2 secs. Go. Talk. This is Pepsi ASMR, by the way. And that's my son. Dad tax. go clean your glasses. Your glasses are dirty. Thank you. Children, eh? Children. Love them. Interrupting the stream. Okay, so Ethiopians, that does seem to represent black people. Cool. That's yep, fair enough. That's yeah. Right, let's go back to the. Sorry. Hey, I recognise that road. Been there. Yeah, a million times. This is possible a million times as well. Anyway. 3, 2, 1. That an Ethiopian was black is stated by Jeremiah 13:23 as follows. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Which was the same as if he had said, can a black man change his skin, or a leopard his spots? As the word Ethiopian was one of the words in Hebrew for that which was black. Actually, given we know that the word Ethiopian actually comes from the Greek, good one, genius. Actually, it could be Hebrew as well. I have to ask my Hebrew buddies. Where was it? From this statement of Jeremiah, as well as from all the other evidences, we learn that the whole race of Ham, the Egyptians, the Libyans, the Ethiopians, and the Canaanites, were all so many black nations. The prophet even makes use of this fact, the blackness of the Ethiopian skin, as an emblem of the depravity and wickedness of the Jews, which he insinuates they could not change, because they had become so accustomed to do evil, any more than the Ethiopian could change the blackness of his person. Thus we have, as we believe, made out that there was in the very outset of time, after the flood, a race of black people who were made thus, not by climate or any other accident or contingency, but by the arbitrary power of God to suit his own pleasure in carrying out his designs respecting the people of the globe. The genuine Cushite, says Richard Watson, was woolly-headed. Historical Dictionary, page 282. This being a fact, proves that the races of the other Negro brothers to have been of the same character as a people, and yet for a certain reason, of which we shall speak hereafter, from the same people straight-haired black men were produced. Possibly by this time, it may be imagined that so much labour bestowed to prove that an Ethiopian is black is not called for, as all men know they are. To this we reply that the question is not whether an Ethiopian is black at the present time, but whether they were anciently so, as there are many who believe that the black nations of the earth have become thus by the force of circumstances, such as climate, food, manner of living. Such persons hold that the people now called Africans were anciently the same as the people of Shem and Japheth, whatever their complexions were. But we think we have abundantly shown the entire contrary. Alright, that is, and I'm looking at, that's Lonsdale Street. Yes, that's Lonsdale Street, that's playing in the... Okay, a bit more Victim of Illusion. And this is a Dewdrop. Now, so this is one of the common themes that I kind of picked up from this book, just through reading through 60-something pages of it, is this is the opinion you will form when the Bible is basically your only source of information. The Bible, or things that confirm the Bible, are your only sources of information. So yes, you will think that, hey, black people are cursed. Hey, it's okay to be racist against black people. The Negroes carry their carry the curse of Ham because of, even though apparently children were no longer to bear the punishment for their father's sins. I don't quite get that, but anyway. And look, I don't know how the evolution of skin colours and characteristics works, but how can I say? I was just trying to think of the best way to put it. But I also know that genetics is sufficiently complex as well. So, yeah, it's just a bit hard. It's just a bit hard to say that it's impossible for climate changes in climate to produce such different varieties of skin color. It must have been God cursing him for his own purpose. Because of course, racism. Hey. Anyway, back to the book, and let's see how much time I've spent already. Okay, cool. That's cool. That's all right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. If this were not true, it would be impossible to understand a very remarkable prophecy of Noah, and equally impossible to learn where to apply that prophecy, and whether it has been or is yet to be fulfilled, which relates to the descendants of Ham, of which, in its place, we shall give all due attention. If the 3 sons of Noah were all of one complexion, and their posterities the same for many ages, or till the climates had time to make some white, some red, and some black, it would be impossible to know the races apart, as some of the descendants of Shem may have been changed into Negroes, and some of the race of Ham may have been made into white or red men, and thus, by the operation of the climates, a state of irretrievable confusion being produced as to the identities of the respective races. From this view, it is not difficult to see that the extraordinary prophecies of Noah respecting the races of his 3 sons is of necessity defeated and rendered impossible to be traced or investigated in relation to their being fulfilled, and thus the veracity of God thrown back into the mysteries of his acts, which have never been revealed. Such is one of the horrible results of the climate argument in relation to the complexions of the human race. And we are on Elizabeth Street at the moment. I recognise. Yeah, I've been all over Melbourne. Like, it's actually literally as well. It is therefore highly important to find out who the race and descendants of Ham are, so as to know where to apply the foreknowledge of God, as expressed by Noah, Genesis 9, 25-27, in relation to that race, as well as to others. On this account, we shall pursue the subject a little further, and but a little, lest we weary the reader with too much of one thing. Actually, alright, I'll continue on, I'll go for a few more minutes. Top of page 67. That the Egyptians were the aboriginal people of Egypt is maintained with considerable labour by Herodotus, as well as Josephus, who say that Menes was their first king, and the man who built Memphis, the first and eldest city of Egypt. He says that when this Menes, with his company, came to the Vale of the Nile in Africa, that the whole country was one entire bog, except a place where Thebes was afterward built, which was higher ground. Of this there can be no doubt, when it is remembered that every year the Nile overflowed the whole Vale of Egypt, which extended in length some hundreds of miles, and was on an average about 50 miles wide. Now, as this immense alluvial was thickly overgrown with trees, grass and herbage, which had been accumulating from the subsiding of the flood, unchecked or removed, there is no reason why it should not have been, as Herodotus says, it was a continued bog, the waters of which had never been drained off by ditches and canals, as afterward was by the first settlers of their posterity. Alright, well, my video's run out, so what I'll then do is I'll put a bookmark in that, and let me see if I can I highlight that? Yes, I can. Beautiful. So I'm on page 67, and let me hit the music. Yeah. So again, this is now, I suppose this is what I would call a retroactive theologization, in that. So if I was writing a book and I wanted to say that my race was superior, and my race has overcome such immense odds, and that God was with my nation, and all these other nations and the people of these nations are cursed, and they're not as blessed as my nation is. This is kind of exactly what I would write. I would go, Noah had 3 sons. One of those sons was magically turned black. And, Now, I will admit that the idea of Moses marrying a Cushite woman, now, why that is, there could be a few reasons why. But I suppose notice that in Moses, it's people complain against Moses for marrying a Cushite woman, and then in Acts, I think Peter baptizes an Ethiopian man, which may well be a reversal of expectation. Yeah, there could be a bit of that as well. It's just interesting. But yeah, so this is this would have been written around the time of Bishop Ussher as well. Let me just see if I can find when Bishop Ussher. Yes. So Bishop Ussher was active in the 1600s. So Bishop Ussher and his famous 4,000 year timeline. This would have been right in the wheelhouse. So yeah. Alright, well, cool. Anyway, I'm going to end the reading there. So we're currently on page 67 of Bible Defense of Slavery. Until next time, look after yourselves, stay safe, be kind, be respectful, and all that kind of stuff. But here is some music. See ya.
I am sure of myself. No mercy unto the end.
Mm-hmm.